Hello my friends, I am coming to you today with a completed journal flip through. I just finished this green army journal that my husband got me a while back, and I wanted to go ahead and do flip through. This is volume number 40. I also wanted to take a minute to say thank you so much to those who have contributed to my Ko-Fi. Because of you, I was able to buy a notebook that was recommended to me by you, the viewers, that you would like for me to journal through and do a review and a flip through. It was the Dingbats journal, and so I chose this gray elephant one. And even though it's got cream paper, I'm pretty excited about it. This is actually a really heavy journal. But anyway, thank you so much. Because of your donations, I was able to get this journal, and I'm really excited about it. I am currently in another journal right now. I'm actually in one of my Mel's Brenneth, but once I am done with that journal, I'll be moving into here, and I will be sure to give you my completely all of my own review, good, bad, and ugly. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support for my channel. That being said, I am trying more of an overhead view this time. Let's see how this goes. So this, like I said, is a standard issue army or just military notebook that they use for taking notes, you know, during briefings and whatnot. My husband gave me two, and because he knew I loved journals, and he happened to have two, so that was really nice of him. So I just put on a piece of art that I found on Pinterest that kind of represents me a little bit. So this is volume 40, and here we go. I started to do something. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I hadn't really done it, and so I wanted to put some silver linings, some little sweet things or good things that happened during using this journal. Things that maybe made me smile, or you know, just out of the ordinary, or just things that I wanted to remember when I first opened up my journal. So these are here because before I started on this one, I was actually going to start journaling. I started in a composition notebook, and that was one of the ones with the paper made in Korea, and I was Vietnam, I think, and I was really excited about that. And I journaled a couple pages, and then I realized that the notebook was a good notebook, but that I just not ready to journal on composition paper. So that being said, I moved into this notebook, and yeah, so now I will give you a little flip through now that it's completed, and here we go. All right, so talked about that. I started this journal on the 24th of February, and I finished it on March 5th, and so I was in this journal for 10 days. Here is my pen and ink log, and I will tell you that most of these inks I didn't write in here very long with. The inks that I had a fuller fill on my pens, they kind of they went the distance. The rest of them did not. So the first ink that I used in here was Robert Oster's Barossa Gilt, which is really pretty. It seems like on all of the videos that I watched about this, when people swatched them and wrote with it, the ink was much darker. And when I wrote with it, the ink was much lighter. So I think that's probably something to mention. But it's a really pretty really pretty. It sheens just a little bit, not too much. It didn't bother my nib, and so that was good. I've had problems with sheening before and it bothers my nibs, and I just really don't like that. So my next one that I used was Diamine Writer's Blood, and these little tiny cards mean that they were samples. My larger ones means that I have a bottle of it. So the next one was Diamine Writer's Blood, and I found that I like it, but I actually prefer Oxblood. Next ink was KWZ Discovery Green, and this is one of my very favorite inks. I use it all the time. There's more Barossa Gilt. And you can see how with Barossa Gilt, like it starts out darker and then it ends up writing lighter and lighter, but it's a really pretty color. It's not so light that it's not legible. Next one I inked up was Sailor Gentile Tokiwa Matsu, which is one of my favorite greens. And I gave my TWSBI Eco the fullest fill I could possibly get of this because it's one of my favorite greens. So as you can see, it's just mostly writing. This is Discovery Green some more, and I started using, I'm trying to use up the ephemera and the stickers and the things that I already have. I'm not in the, I don't want to buy anymore, but I have some that are left over from gifts from other people and just from things that I've used in the past, and I want to just use them up. So I'm using some Hita stickers in here that you'll see, which are really cute little stickers. And I also kept a log of the teas I was drinking. As you can see, as the Barossa Gilt was becoming less and less, it got lighter and lighter, and then it was done. And my next ink that I used was Pilot Uroshizuku Yamabudo, which is also one of my very favorite inks. It's a very happy ink. Some more Hita stickers up there. And then this is Tokiwa Matsu and more Discovery Green. And I really like these little stickers. They're so cute. And to me, they're very minimal as well. I watched Tina of Overall Adventure. She had her video on prompts, writing journaling prompts for peace. And I wrote them down, and I kept them in the side, like the folio pocket of my cover. And so a couple times throughout here, I wrote down one of her prompts, and then I just wrote it. This ink right here is Noodler's Rome Burning. I had a small sample of it, and I've had this sample for the longest time. And when I used it before, like a year ago, I was comparing it to Private Reserve Sepia, which at that time was my favorite sepia. And it wasn't a good match. And so I was like, oh, I don't like this sample. But I kept it. And I pulled it out again lately and realized that I actually really do enjoy it. I really like it. And so I will be buying a bottle of this. And so I just kind of, I have some favorite pictures that I like to use in my journals. More Yamabudo, and I was watching a video, and just more gratitude is the healthiest of all emotions. And this was what, when I started the prompt, I started writing about the prompt here, and this is more of that prompt and more of that prompt, and then this is more of that prompt. And where I made these little lines, that's where I wasn't writing about the prompt anymore. There's just some little pictures that I was using, more of those little stickers that I've shown you before. And this is just a piece of, I just stamped on some tracing paper, and it's pointing to a pink like house or apartment. And I just thought, oh, I want us to find our new home soon. So my daughters invited me to a disco party in their bedroom, and it was a really great party. You should have been there. More Discovery Green. And I'm using up all the little stickers in there that are like kind of weird like that. I'm kind of saving my favorites of those stickers for, you know, whenever again. I did a little bit of watercolor up here, and then I put one of the stickers because I thought it would be really pretty. So it's also a home, and so I just kind of, could this be a bright new home for us? You know, just kind of I want to get to our home wherever it will be. And this is more Tokyo Uematsu. I also found a little spiral notebook of these kind of letters and words from Tim Holtz that I had that I didn't even know I had. And so now I've put them in my little pouch with all those, you know, pictures and stickers and stuff. And so I'm trying to use these up too. And I want to use up the washi that I have as well, but very minimal washi, just like a little bit here and there. So here's more Yamabudo and Discovery Green. This actually, I was pulling some stuff out of my side table, like next to my bed, and this came out and it was crumpled up, and I was like, what is this? And it's from a journal entry from December 18th of 2021. I started it, and then I guess I didn't finish it, or I took out the paper, I'm not sure, but it's got like some cat, maybe, oh, I remember, I tore it off and I threw it at my cat. Yeah, so I just kind of put that in there because that was interesting. And this is more Tokyo Uematsu and Rome Burning. And see, I'm just putting like the weird kind of photos. Like, I know these are all aesthetic photos, but some of them I'm just like, why is that a sticker? I don't know, but I'm using them. Yamabudo. More Discovery Green. I love Discovery Green. It's probably my, actually, you know what? I'd say it's probably my favorite ink. And here I was talking about when we start packing up to move, and I'm, you know, putting my journaling and supplies and stuff together in a little box. I have these large glass vials that I think I'm going to decant some of my favorite inks into, so I can pack away my inks, but then still have some of my inks that I want to do. I watched a video from Heather Mattern, and she talked about love note adventures, like leaving love notes for people. And I think that's something that I want to start doing, just kind of random love notes wherever. Not necessarily for my family, but just out in the world. I think we could all use more of that. So this was where I started. The last sample I started, which was Diamine Rustic Brown. It's a really pretty burgundy brown. It's like when it first starts coming out, it's very brown and very wet, and then as you write with it, it becomes more burgundy, which is really pretty. I liked it. At first I was like, oh, I want a bottle of this, and I was like, Claire, no, you don't need a bottle of it. You have a little bit. I have a little bit, like a little tiny bit of the sample left, but I do not need to buy a bottle of it. No, I actually did a full fill of my Wingsong 699 with it, and so you'll see a lot of this, a lot of these full fills that I had are going back through here, or going to be cycling through these pages, those inks. More tea and Tokyo Uematsu. March 1st was my granddaughter's birthday, and this was actually a picture of her on Valentine's Day. Her daddy, my son, got her first little heart of candy and a little red dragon, and I just thought that was so sweet. And I wrote down the quote by Volodymyr Zelensky, I need ammunition, not a ride. And this was another one of her prompts, Tina's prompts, and so I answered it. And I started looking for other teas to drink throughout the day too, and I found this spicy hibiscus blossom from Yogi. And it is definitely a tea that you have to kind of, it's an acquired taste, but I like it, so I've been drinking it. This ink right here, I do not have a little sample swatch of. It's actually a cartridge, and I just wanted to use it up. I was using writing with my Lamy Safari, and I just wanted to use up this last cartridge that I have in those. So this is Monteverde Blue Black. Sometimes it's darker than others, like when you first start writing with it. Up here I was lamenting about the different line widths. Like this right here, all this writing is, this is a fine nib from Lamy, and to me it's more like a medium or even a broad. Yamabudo, and then see this out here, you can tell that the rustic brown starts really dark brown, and then it just becomes more burgundy as you move down the page with it. I got a sticker. We went to Goodwill, and while my husband was checking out, they had stickers, and I said, oh, can I have one of your stickers? And they said yes, because I'm weird. I asked for a sticker at Goodwill. It's more Rome Burning. I really like this color. And I was trying to decide which vials of ink that I wanted to take with me, and I still can't decide really. I got a new coffee mug. My regular coffee mugs, like I've stopped using just but a couple that I've kept just because they have, you know, they were gifts or whatnot. They're like regular ceramic coffee mugs, because I never finish a cup of coffee or a cup of tea before it goes cold. So my husband bought me a blue Yeti coffee tumbler. Coffee Rambler, I think is what it's called. And so I've been using that, and so far I really like it. And that's more of that Monteverde Blue Black. It was $27 though, so I'm going to be using the heck out of that for years and years and years. This is one of my favorite images that I have on Pinterest. I have a board with a whole bunch of my favorite images, like that I like to print out and put in my journals. So sometimes, you know, as I'm doing journal flip throughs, you'll see the same images maybe in different journals. It's just because I really like them and they really speak to me. More rustic brown. It's very, very pretty. It almost reminds me of Oxblood as well. And this was a new little picture. I woke up that day and feeling very, very awkward. I had just changed dosage on some of my medicine, or one of my medicines, and so I just very much felt like I wasn't me during the days. So as I was having my tea in my Yeti mug, I found a Yeti on there. And this is from, I was on Heather's Patreon page, and she asked, these are some of the prompts, and then more of this please. And so I wrote down some of the more of thises that other women said that they would like, and then I wrote my own I want more of thises, which is like more of journaling outside, more hiking walks without fear of what's in the nature, more finding small reasons to be happy and smile, more magic and whimsy, more inner rest and not always so wound up and restless, more joyful movement, more desire, less buying and more saving, and enjoying what's great about what I already have, more working on my novel, more pursuing new adventures, more short stories about what's real, more romance, more giving of myself even when I don't want to, more fun with the girls, more mom and daughter dates, more yes, less no, more compromise and less stubborn, more learning and less nothing, more accountability for myself. And then I wrote down like how I hope to accomplish those things. So as you can see, the sometimes when the Monteverde Blue Black started, it was really, really dark. And this was my first tarot pull, when I pulled my first card from the Labyrinth deck that you saw in my last video. The art in here is so pretty, and I'm really loving pulling a card every day. And then just, it doesn't even really, like, I don't even care if it applies to anything that I'm going through at that moment. I like writing down everything, and then it just, everything that the book says, and then it just gives me something to think on and marinate about during the day. And, I have been able to find, I've pulled 3 so far, and the last one I thought, oh, that doesn't apply. But then throughout the day, as I was marinating on it and unpacking different ideas, and I realized that it did apply. And I feel like you could pull any tarot card or oracle card at all at any given day. Any person can, and they're all applicable to everybody in all stages and walks of life. It's just about you looking inside yourself and applying what you have just randomly read about, and you seeing where that fits in with you. So that's kind of how I feel about tarot and tarot journaling. So I'm enjoying that. I got a new nail polish, so I had to document that. This is more Rome burning. Again, another one of my favorite photos to put in my journals. And that was that day's tarot pull. I have one more ink in here. Oh, my daughter gave me some really adorable little tiny flowers. And I actually printed this out a long time ago. It's a little seed packet. And I love Peter Rabbit. And so, or actually I love Beatrix Potter in general. And so I pasted this in here and pasted the little flowers up there. And so I thought that was real pretty. I've been trying to find her. I have 2 of these, and so I was just trying to find a reason to use those. Again, using up the things that I have. This is where I was talking about I wanted to remind myself in the beginning of my next journal to dedicate a few pages in the front to silver linings, but I ended up just using some paper that I tea stained, and I tore it up into 4s. And so this is the one that I put in here, and then I've got another one in my current journal as well. This I was writing about where Russia is now. More rustic brown. See how it gets really dark sometimes, and then it goes to more burgundy, which is really pretty. This is another one of my favorite like little collage picture things, all the things that I love. Tokiwamatsu. And then this is the last ink that I picked up, Linen Toolbar's Mucha Iron Goddess Tea. It's really, really light, and I put it in a medium nib, which is in my Vintage Parker 21 Super. And so I've liked it I like it as long as it's in a nib that's big enough so where I can actually enjoy and see the shading in the ink. This is the first time I've actually kind of enjoyed writing with it. I got it at first from Yosaka Stationery a long time ago, and I bought it to replace Rohrer and Klingner Alt Gold Grün. They're very similar, except Gold Grün is more greeny green, kind of like leans more green, like towards my nails. So I really like this, and I really like the way it writes in my Vintage Parker 21. And I pulled out one of my Harney & Sons. I had a sampler pack of Harney & Sons tea, and we've been going through them slowly, and so I just decided to have green tea that day because it reminded me of the Mucha Iron Goddess tea, and plus I've just been drinking more tea. Less soda, less coffee, more tea. See how thick this is the fine nib on a Lamy Safari. See how thick that writing is? This was from my tarot pull. This was the one that I thought didn't really apply to me, and then as I wrote down the meaning, I realized it's like I don't really know what that applies to me, but I do feel unfulfilled as a wife and a mom. It was talking about when you're feeling unexpectedly unfulfilled in life for some reason, to reflect on your current feelings and uncover the rest of your discontent, and then a tipping point situation in your life, changing directions. And at first I was like, oh yeah, I don't really know what that means for me today. And then as I kept writing, I realized, oh, I do. It does apply. What do you know? I finished a glue stick today. that is such an important, you know what? I was so excited about that. I actually, and it was the glue stick that Heather sent me in our box that we did together. So I finished that glue stick. I was so excited. Messaged Heather, I finished the glue stick. Because I'm weird. There's another one of those weird, like, why is this a sticker pictures? And so I wrote, or I used another one of those Tim Holtz stickers and just put living there. Really like how wet this ink writes in my pen. And this is more rustic brown, and at this point I was running out of rustic brown. It was, yep, by the time I finished this page, the last page in my notebook, my rustic brown was gone. So I left the last, usually I leave like 5 pages at the end of every journal. Everybody knows that if you've watched my journal flip-throughs and reviews. So there you have it, page 1. And I journaled through 169 pages. And this particular notebook, even though it's just a, you know, a plain old regular military issue notebook, I find that it's actually, it works well for fountain pen paper. If you look there, you can see just a little bit of ghosting, and that's with this really dark blue ink. So it doesn't even come through. It's really, this is actually a really great journal, I believe. I feel like if you can get your hands on one, I know they have them on Amazon, but if you can get your hands, or if you know a person in the military, you can be like, hey, can you get me one of them journals? It's worth it. So this is journal number 40, and that is my flip through. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you would like to consider helping my channel out, you can visit my Ko-Fi link that's in the description below, and you can donate any amount. I would be very grateful for anything, and it was actually your guys' donations that allowed me to get that Dingbats notebook that I will be starting as soon as I'm done with my current journal, and I can't wait to review that for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I wish you greatness.